Okay, guys, so now we're going to move into the next lesson, which is called the singing of the spheres, the law of vibration. Okay, so when we talked about the Merkaba light body, we learned that our being and awareness is one of many points of focus within the one divine light. Okay, so in this lesson, we're taking this knowledge further so that we can understand that everyone, every other person, and every other thing also is another point of focus in the one divine light, okay? And that they each also possess their own Merkaba. So not only that, but that each of those people, other people, each of those other things, also they are and they generate a different frequency vibration, okay? In astrology, we call these frequencies that emanate from the planets and star constellations, and they're broadcast to the earth and to us. We call them the singing of the spheres. It's a literal vibrational tone frequency, okay? Now, the singing of the spheres, it affects the physical world and what happens, as well as our internal selves, okay? So, once again, I'm looking at my notes again, so I'm sorry for pausing like this. Basically, so outside of astrology, every person and everything is emitting its own frequency, its own vibration, its own tone, okay? And those affect us. They affect the world around us, they affect other people, etc. Okay? So, when we apply this to witchcraft, that is why there's certain herbs, certain tools, certain elements, and crystals, and everything of what we call the Table of Correspondence is all about those different vibrations, those different frequencies and tones. This is scientific and it is spiritual. They're not separate, okay? It's the same thing. Magic is a science. So basically, I suggest that you learn the Tables of Correspondence very well, because it is really the key to controlling things, okay? It's the key to magic. It's the key to Merkaba Attunement, okay? We're all, to an extent, heavily controlled by these vibrational forces, okay? So when you look at the collective of the vibrations and the frequencies that we can't control, like, for instance, the planets of astrology and all of that, we can't control those, okay? They're there, okay? And so some people call this, those tones and vibrations, the language of God, okay? Or the word of God. That's why astrology is like a guide for us. It just tells us what is, and we take that knowledge and, use it how we will. But at the smaller scale, we can pick and choose, what we surround ourselves with on this earthly level, okay? And those have vibrations and tones as well, which affect are vibrations and tones, are Merkaba. So basically this whole lesson is about understanding that, and basically the fact that the tables of correspondence are pretty much the language of those tones and vibrations. It's the language of God, the source. And so there's different ones that you are going to want to use to benefit you and stuff like that. And the key to understanding that is the table of correspondence. And that's how you're going to know for your magic and just for controlling your own fate in general, what you're going to want around you. So like when you're wearing a silver ring, okay? Silver has its own vibrational frequency. And by me wearing this ring, I'm putting that frequency with my aura, with my Merkaba. And that's going to cause certain manifestations to happen for me, okay? That's just one example, but it's the basis of why we use all the different things that we use, okay, when we do witchcraft and magic. So Merkaba Attunement is about utilizing the law of vibration to kind of program, your Merkaba. And your Merkaba controls everything that manifests in your life, okay? Let's see. So when you have a deep understanding and knowledge of the tables of correspondence, you can begin to manipulate the frequencies around you to bring about the results that you want, okay? You begin to speak the language of God because you are attuning yourself with the right energy, okay? The language of God is not words in languages that we speak. It's a language of vibration, all right? So each metal, each color, each stone, each herb, each symbol, all of it has its unique vibrations and energies that when you as a witch brings those things together in your different recipes and spells and stuff, you are literally creating what you want to happen, okay? So whenever I learned this lesson directly from Hekatean stuff, she was telling me how you might want to become more aware of the different jewelry that you wear all the time and stuff like that, okay? Because at certain times you could be kind of fucking yourself up if you're wearing the wrong things and keeping the wrong energy in your Merkaba. You might be accidentally keeping yourself from manifesting what you actually want, okay? So, for instance, with me, she was just pointing out how I do always wear my silver rings, okay? And silver has a receptive energy. So, in cases where if you're around people that you do not want to absorb their energy and stuff like that, silver is not the metal to wear because it brings that receptive energy to your aura, to your Merkaba, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to start to absorb and receive energy, okay? So with certain people and situations, you don't want that because there's going to be toxic energy and stuff like that you don't want on you, okay? So that's just an example. It's not just about when you're casting spells. It's not just about when you're doing magic and ritual. It's about becoming aware of these tones and frequencies in your day-to-day life constantly and how that plays a role in what manifests in your life and what happens to you, okay? I think it's raining now. Let me see if there was anything else in these notes that I wanted to say to y'all. I just also want to point out, so once again, it is about the projective and the receptive energies, and how they are both relevant, okay? So also to your thoughts and emotions and stuff like that emit a frequency, emit a vibration. And once again, that comes back into you because that's just how the Taurus field, that is the Merkaba, works. So it's not just about what you surround yourself with exoterically, it's also about what you project. It's the interplay of all of that, okay? So I just want to make sure that you look at it from both of those angles. And what else? Yes. So the power of a master witch or magician is in controlling entirely not only what you're projecting out, but also what you surround yourself with on a day-to-day basis, okay? Because within those frequencies is the template of everything that's about to manifest in your life, okay? So, once again, your Merkaba light body is your point of focus within the one light of God, okay, or of Source. So, to control and master your Merkaba light body is to pay attention to and control your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and your physical presence and everything that you put yourself around and every person that you put yourself around, okay? It all plays a role in it. So, yeah. I think that about covers it. Oh yeah, about the fact of that I did not put this in the last video, but about the fact of how your Merkaba is either in a dormant or an active state, just like how a black hole can be in an active or a dormant state. It all has to do with your willpower, okay? Your will and your free will and your power of choice and decision making. Anytime that you will something, anytime that you're making a decision, you are centered in the power of your Merkaba. You are centered in the power of your life force. You are centered in the power of just your power, your true power, okay? that is putting your Merkaba in an active state. So I just wanted to include that as well. And yeah, when you identify yourself as your Taurus field, your Merkaba light body, that is your ascension, okay? Because your consciousness raises to the level of God. But that does not, what am I trying to say? That doesn't exclude or make your body any less important, because your body is like the chariot, the physical chariot of that consciousness and of that being that you truly are, okay? So it's just all about making sure that you have the right perspective and mindset of all of this, and making sure that you, when you're doing your magic and when you're just living in your day-to-day life, that you are making sure that you're aware of the fact that you are attuning your Merkaba constantly, okay? And everything that you, all the frequency and all the vibrational energy that you put yourself in is always going to be what ends up manifesting in your life. So I think that concludes it for this lesson. Once again, if you have any questions or anything like that, go ahead and ask me. Let me know what's up. And yeah, just give yourself some time to really absorb this knowledge, let it process. You might get more insights and stuff that I did not say in this or in these videos. And most importantly, as always, apply it, and you will see its results and all the different effects and stuff like that for yourself. So I hope you enjoy these lessons. I will be getting more into different lessons from my book, but this knowledge was just too exciting. I had to share it with these most recent things that I've been learning from Hekatean. But I will go back to my other book that I already wrote and share more lessons from that as well. So, blessed be.